governors of Maryland and Virginia, the mayor of the city of Baltimore, all who have sent us personnel to help in the rescue operations. Last thing I'll note is just to our local viewership, and just please let our first responders do their work. Try to let our vehicles get to scenes and through scenes. We don't want anybody else to get hurt because of moving vehicles, okay? So we will be able to take a few questions. There's not a lot that we can say. We won't be able to say anything about an investigation. As you know, once fire and EMS completes the rescue operation, then the investigation goes over to the National Transportation Safety Board. And I'm sure the Safety Board, NTSB.
Both aircraft are in the water, and perhaps Chief Donnelly can explain what's involved in conducting an operation.
Yes, both aircraft are in the water. The focus now is rescuing people, and that's what all of our personnel are focused on. And Chief, I think he's given a pretty good description, but if there's anything else you want to add, Chief?
I would just say that the boats are out doing searches. We have divers on both aircraft, and they're searching the aircraft at this point.
Right.
Mayor?
Yes.
Have any survivors been found, and how many bodies have been recovered?
All we can confirm tonight is the number of people on each aircraft, 64 people on the American Airlines plane and 3 people on the military helicopter. And we can't provide any more information about recovery efforts.
The 2 people have talked about lost loved ones. So how do you know that there are 2 people who have lost loved ones?
I didn't say I didn't know people had lost loved ones. I said we can't talk about any of the recovery efforts in specific tonight.
Yes. Secretary Duffy,
So I'll call on who's next. Yes?
Thank you, Mayor Bowser. Will this affect operations at Dulles and BWI? Will the Potomac River traffic be closed to boats?
Yes. And so Jack has talked about, can you talk about Dulles? I'm not sure we can talk about BWI, but we can talk about Dulles.
Right. There is no impact at BWI or at Dulles. As I said earlier, our airport here, Ronald Reagan National Airport, will be closed until 11 o'clock. Obviously, that will be fluid. We'll learn more, but we wanted to advise passengers who might be coming to the airport in the morning that we will be closed until at least 11 o'clock.
A question for Secretary Duffy. A question for Secretary Duffy.
Yeah, 1 second. You're next.
Hi, Mayor. Thank you so much. So, just other than the current situations, like we know the water is extremely cold and it's very dark outside. Although Senator is saying that there are numerous boats in the water, but what's still the biggest challenges for the rescue team? What best scenario we can expect in the coming few hours till morning?
So the challenges are access. The water that we're operating in is about 8 feet deep. There is wind, there is pieces of ice out there, so it's just dangerous and hard to work in, and because there's not a lot of lights, you're out there searching every square inch of space to see if you can find anybody. The divers are doing the same thing in the water. The water is dark, it is murky, and that is a very tough condition for them to dive in. The question about the river, we'll make that decision later. The Coast Guard's on scene, and I would expect that it's not a high use time in the river, and we should not expect to have commercial, recreational traffic on the river tomorrow.
Okay, 3 questions. 1, 2, 3.
Secretary Duffy, have you been in touch with the air traffic controllers who were in the tower at the time of the crash?
I have not.
You have not. And the second question, this is your first several hours in this position. What are your thoughts? What are you feeling right now?
My focus is on those who are impacted on this flight. And again, I've been secretary for a little over a day, and the tragedy that I think is touching everyone's hearts, whether it's here in the greater DC area or in Kansas. And again, I think everyone here is thinking and praying for those who potentially have lost a loved one. And thank you.
Okay, your question?
Can any of you give us any sense about how an accident like this could have happened so close to the airport, right in the heart of DC? There have been reports that the DCA tower contacted the helicopter moments before the crash to sight of the aircraft, and apparently the helicopter reported that it did have sight of an aircraft. Is it possible that it had the wrong aircraft in sight? Do you have any sense of what went wrong in those final moments?
I know that the National Transportation Safety Board in its investigation will be able to search on all of those questions. We wouldn't be able to talk about that tonight. Yes?
Two parts for Secretary Duffy. The first being, you were talking about when you were in the Situation Room with the President and Pete Hegseth both being there. Can you tell us more about the President's initial reaction to this, as well as Pete Hegseth, given this was a military helicopter?
So I was not in the Situation Room. I did have a conversation with the Situation Room where the President was located, as well as with Secretary Hegseth. We're exchanging information. I would just note that not just the local team, but the federal team has performed very well in this crisis. I know the President is incredibly concerned about what's happened here today. I'm sure Secretary Hegseth.
When it comes to the resources that you would be able to provide on the federal level, do you feel like you're getting what you need?
Absolutely. The President has committed to this team and to the NTSB through the DOT that we will provide all resources necessary as we go through this recovery, but also the support from FAA and DOT as the NTSB investigates.
Mr. Secretary, do we know the condition of these aircraft? Are they whole? Are they split? Are they pieces?
Again, I don't think.
More clarification, because earlier we got guidance that DCA was going to be shut down at least until Friday at 5 a.m. I just heard
11
now
a.m.
it's 11 a.m. tomorrow. Tomorrow. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we can take a few more questions. A question here, and here. Yep.
Mayor Bowser, can you just confirm, has anybody been transported to the hospital?
Again, I can't say anything about the rescue operation right now. Who was next? Yes.
Yeah, Chief Donnelly, can you speak a little bit more about the unified command who leads, and can you describe to us the scene as best you can when first responders first arrived?
So I happened to be listening to the radio this evening when the call came out. I listened to the responders come in, and the initial response, they were very professional trying to locate this. This is, if you can imagine, the river is a large black spot at night with no lights